Shalom, Azir. First and foremost, I do want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kadash, the born of the apostles, and else great millstone for teaching us his truth, peace, and blessings to the hope of Israel. Yahweh is the name of the fallen people, Bahashim is the name, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the begotten Son. Background lesson, as in the title, World War III on the rise, and going to be going to this situation where you had Israel attack Iran. So you see, this is the most recent news, which you see tons of articles coming out, videos coming out, especially what this is ultimately leading up to, which is going to be World War III, which all roads lead to World War III. So whether the Lord may use this situation to build upon it even more, or maybe the Kickstarter, and we didn't exactly see, but World War III is on the rise, and you're seeing the steps being taken towards it, and this is going to fuel that even more. So I do have a couple of videos to get, just to once again go into the situation at hand, and what this is just ultimately leading up to. That's why you get within the scriptures, how we would see wars and rumors of war. Prophecy is speaking, man. So let's get through these videos, and I got an article, if not a few other articles just to read through, because this is some big news, man. It's not to be taken lightly.
Okay guys, breaking news today just keeps on getting crazier. Israel has officially started bombing Iran, and Iran is reportedly planning a massive retaliation. Here's everything we know so far. So Israel is calling these strikes.
So things are heating up, and now when you have retaliation being made, now you may see other nations beginning to get involved, especially regarding the U.S. stepping in to help out. It's just going to lead to a back and forth, and we all know ultimately what that will lead up to, because once again tensions can only get so high. So an attack has been made, and you are most definitely going to see a retaliation. We just have to see just how fast
preemptive, because they claim that Iran was just days away from having enough material to make 15 nuclear bombs. Israel said they had no choice to act because weapons of mass destruction in the hands of Iran is an existential threat to Israel and to the wider world. So, about an hour ago, they launched dozens of strikes on a number of their nuclear and military targets. Trump did say that Israel may do this, although he said that he didn't want it to end this way, and the US told Israel,
and Trump being used as that catalyst, stir up division, to bring about chaos,
but they will not participate in any strikes on Iran. And the thing is, Israel attacked Iran knowing that Iran was going to retaliate, because immediately Israel have now declared a special state of emergency and said an attack against the state of Israel and its civilian population is expected in the immediate future. Now, hearing this news, markets are tanking. Global oil prices have shot up, and stocks are in freefall. Trump is now rushed into an emergency cabinet meeting, and this is expected not just to worsen overnight, but over the next few days.
They call the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, and you're gonna have people in a panic, freaking out. I just read a few comments of people having anxiety attacks from the situation. But these are the steps that need to be taken in order for our Lord Yahweh Shai to return, in order for the kingdom to be established. World War III is biblical prophecy, and you're seeing the steps being taken towards it, man. And we have been warning you through probably how Bahashim Shai, starting with the apostles, the elders on down, over that great millstone, that these things are coming. How the Lord may do it. Now, I got a few more videos I do want to get
Man, I don't know what Israel knows in relation to how Iran is going to retaliate, but they have just issued a stark warning to their population saying we are facing powerful and complex days ahead. People must seek shelter when alerts are sent out. Israel also just said that they believe that they've killed Iran's senior nuclear scientist in their strikes, while Iran is saying that they hit residential areas and children were among those killed. Netanyahu has also just delivered an address saying that the operation is not over and the strikes will continue for as long as it takes to remove the threat. There's not...
So you have constant pushing, pretty much, attacks, going out.
Long as it takes to remove the threat. There's not yet been a retaliation from Iran, but I have a feeling we're going to hear about it very quickly if and when it happens.
And if y'all don't know, this military event, it's going to be, I believe, take place today, if not tomorrow. I have a video to go into, which you're going to see in a minute. Forget the exact title of the event or whatever, but you're going to have the military pretty much involved in it. Which, she's going to mention right here. So this also could be a ploy that Esau is going to use in order to be justified, in his actions with, laying in more strikes, which I'll first expound that point after I get this.
Israel struck Iran. This comes after there has been reports that Iran is poised to retaliate against us and our bases should this happen. And you want to know where our military is going to be this weekend? Mark my words, mark this video. I think we're going to get hit this weekend while our military is parading around in Washington, D.C., tearing
it's like a military parade or something.
Up the streets.
So you kind of see just how, this, fell into place. You have the situation kicking off, and now you have the military going to be at a parade. You've seen the situation over there in L.A. So you probably see, easily, have his hand within this particular situation. Where you may see a false flag, a fake attack to, be justified in what they're wanting to do. Which I have a note going to it. So, I titled World War III on the rise. Israel strikes Iran. Now it says, could stage something to be justified. Ain't going all in. So you may see something staged, take place, unfold. We had to see. But you're most definitely, going to see retaliations, back and forth. And we all know what that's ultimately going to lead up to. Let's see what these comments have to say. So he puts his phone in the charger. Alright, so do they know we literally turn in our president? Or we will literally turn in our president. They don't even threaten. U.S. take him, please. So you have people listening against Donald Trump. So I should have went to sleep. And they want to remain asleep. You get in book of Romans 13:11, how it says, awake as of sleep, for now salvation nearer than we believed. Many people, especially dealing with Jake, want to reside in that comfortability and want to remain asleep. While the Lord's getting ready to destroy this place. It says, awake, for now the salvation nearer than we believe. Open your eyes, repent, seek the Lord now. Look at the things that are happening, and the Lord's getting ready to destroy this place. And this is what I was mentioning earlier. It says, great, now I'm having an anxiety attack. That makes two of us, people agreeing with it. People are panicking. This is why it's important to seek the Lord, man, to be in the graces of Yahweh B'Shem Shai, because the Lord is the only way out of this. Now, this is just, fuel for the fire, man. This is steps towards World War III. And this could possibly, it'll be the kickstart towards it, to where you may see a lot more things begin to happen, unfold. We have to see. And I hate when people say the universe. It's, girl, why would you even put that into the universe? Well, it doesn't matter, what she, said the Lord's going to do what he said he was going to do, as is written. And guess what? World War III is biblical prophecy. As everything is written, it will come to pass. And nothing you can do about it. So as I, made that point, you could possibly see, a staged attack. Something, happened where this devil is, justified in getting involved in dealing with that situation over there. But we have to see, I was just, making a point, speaking as a man.
You realize that you were...
I was reading a little bit into this right here, or play a little bit of this right here and get these articles. It's like it's kind of a longer type of lesson, but a lot of points had to be made. And as prophecy is playing out, unfolding, we're going to be speaking on it even more.
We're literally witnessing Bible prophecy be fulfilled right in front of your eyes. As I'm sure you know by now, because everybody and their mother is talking about it, but Israel has bombed Iran, where we can now see Iran is reportedly preparing to declare war on Israel. The Iranian military posting this on their X account, remember, we did not initiate it, where they then proceed to post this picture right here of bombs descending upon.
So you most definitely see something getting ready to happen. And a call to Lord Yahweh Bashim Al-Shay. We're in some exciting times, man. Prophecy is speaking. And once you have people panicking, freaking out, having anxiety attacks, this is just the start of it, man.
On Israel. While at the same time, we have a U.S. defense official saying that this attack, which Israel says will continue over multiple days, will provoke a significant Iranian response that the Israelis will then ask the United States to help counter, despite the fact that it just blew up the delicate U.S. diplomatic talks. With this bombing going on, we have reports that Iran's chief of staff was likely eliminated. Clearly, they have been preparing us for this attack, but what's concerning is the rhetoric that is being pushed, especially how earlier this week we had Tulsi Gabbard issuing a warning about a nuclear winter. While we also had Mr. Golden Dawn hyping up the soldiers at Fort Bragg, and him clearly trying to build up the morale within the military to go to war with this post right here.
So wait, war is in the air.
I am more confident than ever that in the days ahead and every generation to come, the U.S. Army will heap glory upon glory. You will summon inexhaustible courage. You will protect every inch of U.S. soil, and you will defend America to the ends of the earth. This right here is a war speech. And again, what a coincidence with the timing. It is just impeccable that this Saturday we have the whole military parade taking place.
And that's what I was, speaking on right here.
Place on his birthday. So I'm not sure about you guys, but it just seems like everything is just falling into place so perfectly. And how fitting that the attack took place on Friday the 13th, because in Iran right now it is Friday. Of course, on a Friday that is going into a big weekend where we have the military parade, we have giant protests that are gearing up, the whole No Kings protest, which stay far away from. You have Al-Qaeda calling off, or a leader of Al-Qaeda calling for jihad in the U.S. You have Hamas attacking humanitarian aid in Gaza. We have blackouts in Gaza. We had internet outages with Google and other companies today. Things are clearly escalating. Okay, guys, this was a big one. Israel striking Iran is huge.
But that's the point right there. Let's jump to these articles. Basically, things are heating up. A lot of things are happening, man. But you see multiple articles, already going into it. It says Israel strikes Iran, nuclear sites, and military leadership as Middle East braces for retaliation. Which I'm going to get this AP News article, which I'll get that in a minute. Just read a few of these other ones. Israel hits Iran nuclear and missile facilities, appears to block retaliation. So Israel attacks Iran's nuclear facility. Supreme Leader Khamenei vows to retaliate. Now let's get this article, and we'll get these scriptures at hand, because once again, World War III is in the Bible. And as I made that point being a lesson, this could be the Kickstarter, the jump start, until a lot more things begin to happen, to push more towards, World War III even more. Now it says, as I made a point, all roads lead to World War III, or also known as Armageddon. But it's live updates. Israeli strikes, of course the ad pops up. So Israeli strikes kill Iran's top military leaders and prompt retaliation. So this is, big news. It's not to be, glossed over. Israel launched a wave of strikes across Iran on Friday that targeted its nuclear program and military sites, killing at least 2 top military officers and raising the prospect of an all-out war between the two bitter Middle East adversaries. It appeared to be the most significant attack Iran has faced since the 1980s war with Iraq. Now it says the strikes came amid simmering tensions over Iran's rapidly advancing nuclear program and appeared certain to trigger a reprisal. Hours later, Israel's military said it began intercepting Iranian drones launched in retaliation. A little bit more, says Israel's targeted Iran's nuclear sites. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that Israel targeted Iran's main enrichment facility of the Natanz and the country's ballistic missile program. And one of these top officials taken out right here is the General Hossein Salami was killed. The leader of Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard was confirmed dead. It says other top military officials and scientists were also killed. Keep going down. Both sites have been the focus of Trump's nuclear deal negotiations. It says Trump said that he warned Netanyahu against launching an attack on Iran's nuclear facilities while diplomatic efforts were underway. Let's see. It says on Friday he again urged Iran to reach a nuclear deal with the U.S., warning attacks will only get worse. So they're only going to put the pressure, or apply that pressure even more. Now it says the attack pushes the region into a new and uncertain phase. Now read the last bit. The deaths of top Iranian officials also marks a significant blow to Tehran's governing theocracy and immediate escalation of the conflict with Israel. So things are picking up. And Barak Shai. Now we're going to get these scriptures. And you will shut down from there. It's Matthew chapter 24, verse 3 through 8. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what should be signs like coming of the end of the world? Now list off those things that we would see now take place before our Lord Yahushua will return. And Yahushua answered and said to him, take heed that no one deceive you, for many shall come a name saying, I am anointed, and shall deceive many. You especially got to be careful who you listen to and who you are learning from. Verse 6, and you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Are we not seeing tensions continuing to build? Conflict continue to break out? And especially in the situation where Israel strike Iran. And they said they were going to retaliate. That they're going to strike back. So you also may see other nations begin to get involved, especially regarding the U.S. And I don't think, it's a coincidence that you see, the military, having a parade, taking place, while this situation just happened. So you may see this devil stage something in order to, get involved even more, or to be justified, striking, doing something back. Now we had to see. I'm just, throwing out an idea. But either way, it's still through the spin part of Yahweh Bashma Shai. Now let's read the verse one more time. You shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but it is not yet. Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows, and this is just the beginning. Now you already have people having anxiety attacks, panicking, saying they wish that they went to sleep. So further going to show that they don't want to hear or see the news, as they don't want to hear or receive these warnings. To those that want to continue to remain asleep in that slumber, that gross darkness, when you finally want to get up and finally want to get ready, finally want to seek the Lord, it's going to be far too late. This is Revelation 11:14, as it says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. What does that second woe speak of? The Second World War. So that third woe should be, pretty clear what that is speaking of, the Third World War. And it's approaching fast, and it's approaching quickly, as we just read one more time. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. We are in those times, man. WW3 and 9-13 further on to that point. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, the other men of the world draw near, let them come up. Verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your princes into spears, let the weak say, I am strong. So now the nations starting to stand up against Babylon, against America, especially making these nuclear advancements. And you saw, Israel pretty much try to, cut that short. But very soon you're going to have many nations come together to go against Babylon, to go against the whore. Verse 11, assemble yourselves and come all you heathen and gather yourselves together round about. This is cause the mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Verse 12, let the heathen be wakened and come to the valley of Jehoshaphat, or Jehoshaphat, where there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the silk, for the harvest is ripe. Come ye down, for the press is full of the fat, so for the wickedness is great. Jeremiah 50, further to that point. And I also do want to get the 25th verse. For lo, I'll raise and cause to come against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. And they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she should be taken. Their arrows should be as of a mighty expert men, none shall return in vain. Those arrows are not speaking of a regular bow and arrow. It's speaking of those thermonuclear missiles, as you can also get another scripture in 2nd Ezra. Those arrows being shot from one place on earth into the whole other side. So, clearly not a regular arrow. But let's also get Jeremiah 50 and 25. Going to show what this war is going to be by the way of, men. Thermonuclear missiles. This is going to be a nuclear war. And you get in the scriptures going to how we're in some times that had never been seen before. I don't know why it's so slow. So lucky. This is verse 25. The Lord had opened his armory and had brought forth the weapons of his indignation, for this is the work of the Lord, power of hosts and land of Chaldeans. So Lord, what do you think it means when the Lord opened up his armory and had brought forth the weapons of his indignation? You get in the scripture how the Lord has, created the waster to destroy. Isaiah 34 also goes into the Lord's indignations upon this place. So we have a few more scripts, and that's going to be the point. So you may see the situation, further continue to escalate, which, you're making more lessons. Obviously have, brothers going into it. Isaiah 34 1-5. I'm trying to scroll down. My phone's just freezing. As they come to you nations to hear and hearken ye people like they are to hear, and all that is there in the world, and all things that come forth of it. Verse 2, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He had utterly destroyed them, he had delivered them to the slaughter. Verse 3, the slain also shall be cast out, and the stink shall come by their carcasses, and mountains shall be melted with their blood. Verse 4, main point. Or, verse 5 is the main point I want, but verse 4 also goes along with it. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. And the heavens be rolled together as a scroll, speaking of the mushroom cloud being formed from those explosions. And all the hosts shall fall down as a leaf falls off from the vine as falling figs from the fig tree. Verse 5, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. That sword is speaking of those thermonuclear missiles. Now, what you get multiple scriptures going to the same thing, dealing with the arrows, dealing with the stars, which we in Revelation 6. As we read here in Isaiah 34, dealing with the sword being bathed in heaven. It shall come down upon Idumea, another word for Esau Edom. Sorry, one more time, another word for Esau Edom, and upon the people my curse to judgment. Revelation 6 and 13-14 to further answer that point. And the stars of heaven fell into the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. So as he mentioned stars, they mentioned a sword. Jeremiah 50 and 2nd Ezra going to those arrows. It's all speaking of the same thing, man. That waster to destroy. And those mighty wind going to those shockwaves, comes to explosions. Verse 14, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain island removed out of their places. You have the earth quite literally shake from those explosions, man. Now I got 2 more scriptures. That'll be the point right there. And it's like it's kind of a longer type of lesson, but I did want to get a lot of information doing those videos. For every battle of the warrior is confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So going to show what type of war this is going to be. As you read in the previous latter part of the verse, or the earlier part of the verse, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. Dealing with the clashing of shields, swords, roaring on the battlefield, the movie 300 being a perfect example. But watch this, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Come on. So going to show World War III is in the Bible, especially dealing with nuclear missiles. 2nd Ezra 16:13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows they usually are sharp and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot to the ends of the world. So further going to show is not speaking of a regular bow and arrow. And once again speaking of those thermonuclear missiles. And then 2 Peter 3:10. I was trying to remember another scripture before it closed out. Let's get that real quick, and we'll shut down from there. Now, so, but the day of the Lord comes as a thief in the night, unexpected, especially those that are not watching, those that are not paying attention, those that are not seeking the Lord. In which the heavens shall pass with great noise, with a great noise, those explosions, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. There also no extent to be burned up. So what type of thing? A weapon can emit that type of heat where it's able to melt the elements. You can also get that Zechariah 14. We're going to have people literally consumed in that fire. But that's the point when they speak on the situation dealing with Israel striking Iran, and how you're going to see retaliations, and you may see this thing will heat up even more. Because it was an all roads lead to, World War III. So this very well could be a Kickstarter to that. Obviously there are many prophecies that need to be fulfilled before World War III kicks off, but we're seeing the steps towards it. And ultimately it's to spend for Yahweh. He's the one that's stirring that pot between these nations. So things are kicking off, things are heating up, and we need to be doing our duty as watchmen, as prophets, sounding that alarm. But that's the point right there. I do close out and give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, and Shalom. See you in the next one, Lord's will.